What's good, peoples? Play Styles here. Just quickly doing a quick video on the formation that everyone's requested me to do to show you guys. Anyway, let me just get it open. Go to divisions. The Ragequit formation, the infamous Ragequit formation. All right, cool. So what players do I even have in this selection? All right, yeah. So the first 11, more importantly, obviously. Um, Play styles. I'd say if you want to copy it to exact to a T, it's probably better off because I haven't really tested it with other players too much, except for centre backs and destroyers. I just know they don't work. So um, you have to have defensive fullbacks on either side of your central centre back, preferably anchorman or a. Although anchorman basically is ineffective playstyle as a centre back, um, they're just built a certain like way. Anchormen, like destroyers, anchormen, they're all built with different types of things. So I just think anchorman is basically the same as a build-up player. They have like relatively good stats, ball control wise, passing and stuff like that. And the difference with Ragequit is I can make him really fast. So um, I've got him there as a central centre back, and then I have Dixon on the other side. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I do like to tend to have like at least a couple of Arsenal players in the team. Even though now it's literally just three of them. Uh, what was the other thing? Defensive mid can be anybody. Doesn't really matter because my defensive midfielder has deep line instruction, so they don't really get anywhere other than just dropping here and going back here again. So it's not really that important. But Vieira is just the goat anyway. Doesn't matter what play style he is, anchorman, box to box, destroyer. It's just Vieira. So if you've got Vieira, put him there. That's my preference anyway. And the way this formation works is you have two deep line in a double pivot, so they both drop in, and you've got a back five basically. When you're off the ball, you've got a back five, and then you've got one orchestrator anchoring in the center. So he's always in the middle. That gives him you just know where he is all the time. He isn't just gonna be drifted out here or out here. I just know that Pirlo is right in the middle, and I can, as soon as I give the ball to him, if I can beat the press with him, I can spray the ball out straight to any of these players up here, and he's the king for that. So um, let's go for individual instructions. I changed it basically for what do you call it? I changed two deep lines. I turned it off temporarily because when I went into an event match, I decided I just wanted a little bit more pressure instead of having five centre backs because I was basically better than the opponent. So I just switched it off. But realistically, the ultimate way to play this is to have two deep lines. Second deep line on him. There you go. So you've got two deep lines. Attacking on Gullit and anchoring on Pirlo so he doesn't drift anywhere. It just stays centered. This way, what he actually does is, by having anchoring on Pirlo, he stays in the middle of the pitch. You can see the display in the bottom in the graph. And attacking on Hullet, with deep line on Hullet as well. So when Hullet drops back when you're off the ball, he starts his attacking run all the way to the front from a centre back position. So from here. So then he's completely unmarked. He's not on the radar when you get back on the ball. And basically, if you win the ball back and Pirlo's waiting for it in the middle, anchoring, when you receive the ball with Pirlo, you should have this effect. You should have Hullet gradually making a run past him for an overlap. The overlap is for Pirlo, and he overlaps for anyone up here as well. So he does two overlaps per sprint from the back. So from here, he's got one overlap and a second overlap when he reaches the strikers. And when you lose the ball, he busts the gut basically to go all the way back to centre back position to cover the spaces. And usually, even if a player's managed to beat your press, like from with your defenders, and he gets through on goal, you've always got Hullet doing one last ditch tackle somehow. He's programmed to make a last ditch tackle. As soon as you put deep line on any centre back, midfielder, because they're late to the party when you're defending, usually because they have to run into the centre back position. Because they're late to the party, they're usually late on the tackle. So like they'll make a last ditch block when you're not expecting it. So it works very well, especially with these two very tall players. Both of them have area superiority in heading. I make sure that you know area superiority heading, and they're both very tall, 190 and 192. And then I have 190 in the middle as well. So all three of my main central defenders have a average height of 191, if you want to put it like that. So they win most aerial duels. All of them have high tight possession, 88 tight possession for Vieira. Well, Hullet not so much, but he's basically a beast anyway. And my Rijkaard is the same, at least 80. So they're both quite good on the. All three of them are quite good on the ball. I think that's it covering this formation, to be honest. The only other thing I could basically show people is the individual instructions. It's already been set, but players to join the attack. So this is for your set pieces. Anyone with area superiority or heading, if you put them to join the attack, they usually have a high score. So Hullet has got 94, Vieira's got 91, and my Ronaldo naturally he's really good at heading anyway. So um, yeah, so it depends who you want to be in the set pieces, and these three usually have they basically join the attack together, and they attack as a three. So that's how you do combinations from set pieces between certain players that you want. Romario, I used to not have him to join it. I would have Vieira to join it. So I had Vieira, Ronaldo, and Hullet on the set pieces as a three. But then it would leave like a space, like in the midfield, because these two are up here. Because I would have Vieira and Hullet on the corners and set pieces, like joining the attack up here, and then Pirlo would also be up close to the box as well. And if the player won the corner and cleared it, I was screwed basically because I'd only had three defenders to defend with on the counter attack, so I had to take that off and make sure that I had at least my centre back, not my centre back, my DMF chilling on set pieces. So I have to go with. Hang on, let me put it back. Vieira. Take Vieira off and give it to Romario. That way, if I'm defending corners, I've got Vieira basically. He's still here basically defending with these three centre backs because he's got deep line. He gets back, so I'm good. I can defend with 3 or 4 anyway, but just not 3 alone. It's a bit tricky sometimes. But that's it. This is the Ragequit formation. For strikers, I guess I didn't really cover them. To be honest, I covered the midfielders as orchestrator, creative playmaker to attack spaces and be creative in the midfield because you need someone creative in midfield. You can't just have beasts in the middle and expect to be like have some sort of creativity coming out the center. You have to have creative players. He's creative playmaker, so it helps with the play style. So when he's in the midfield, he does tend to like run into good spaces and pockets all around this area, including joining the attack and defending. So having a creative midfielder in the middle of the pitch is a little bit underrated, in my opinion. People always go with destroyers and orchestrators and box-to-box players and things like that. And orchestrator for me, they're just flawless, in my opinion. Some people don't like them because the way the play style, they don't really get forward a lot and stuff. But what I found out is if your orchestrator has above 80 attacking awareness, he's an attacking player, and it's just programmed in the game to if you have at least 80 attacking awareness or above, they seem to recognize like when to attack like faster and like respond to an attack or a ball. So it naturally brings them more forward. If it's below 70 or there's my stick drift going off there. Look at that. If I move it a little bit, even in the slightest, sometimes it just there you go. It starts going spastic. What the hell? This is how I test stick drift anyway. I hold the player, flip the stick. Okay, it's cool. example at the moment, but yeah, sometimes it just drifts randomly. Um, yeah, so anything like below 75 attack awareness, it kind of keeps your orchestrators in the middle of the pitch, and they don't really respond to the attacks as much. So 85 minimum, and the reason why I basically have studied it slightly is because you have some top players with only 80 attacking awareness, like Ronaldinho and even Kaká. Many players, there's so many players that don't have high attack awareness. Like Hullitz is quite high, 85 is pretty decent, but nothing crazy for like really top players and midfielders, players that used to play in the middle or on the left or anything. Their attack awareness is very low, but there's a base point which is about 80, and that allows them to recognize attacks to a certain like element where you can kind of get by with it. But anything above 80 is like a luxury. So to get an orchestrator with it, it's very tricky. Most orchestrators don't have anything above 70 to 75 attack awareness because they're more focused on defensive points. And I can show you here when I press triangle. There we go. But they don't focus orchestrators with any attacking awareness because that keeps them in the middle of the pitch, but then they don't join attacks. And then they gave him 83 defensive awareness. So he works kind of going backwards towards your goalkeeper. He responds to things going backwards behind him as a defender rather than going forward when you're on the ball. He will stay. So I didn't build mine like that. I built mine the opposite way. I gave him a little bit of defending because I had 3 points left. It didn't really change much when I put it anywhere else. I can put 3 points somewhere else, but it's not worth it in my opinion. A little bit of defense is fine. And with the 80 attacking awareness, it allows my Pirlo to get forward, and he also just stays in the middle and orchestrates, dominates the middle of the park. In terms of passing and dribbling, beating press, and spraying long passes to Ronaldo or anything, he's the king. So on attackers, I'd say it's personal preference in a way, but I've played with a goal poacher and a fox in the box for 3 years. I haven't changed it once, and I just think the way it works is it's amazing. Um, because the goal poacher usually runs behind the player, behind defenders, and fox in the boxes they drop a little bit here to receive the ball. So every time I get the ball with Romario, I've got a goal poacher running beyond him to make a running behind for a through ball. Or if I get the ball with Ronaldo, I can do a header and knock it down to Romario, who's waiting just behind him here like this, on the edge of the box slightly. And when he's hit, he makes another dash into the box afterwards. So it just works perfectly. As for the side, for the wings, it doesn't really matter. Whole player, prolific winger, it doesn't matter. Preference, I'd say, for these two. For anybody that just has preference on their favorite players. Mine were Kaká, Ronaldinho, Pirlo. Yeah, Ronaldo. They were my favorite players growing up. Thierry Henry type of players. Like Ronaldo was like a hybrid Thierry Henry in my opinion. Same stature, same sort of speed and dribbling techniques, and same shooting, all sorts. But Ronaldo just did it for longer. So I think that's it. That should cover it on the Ragequit formation. Um, on the bench, I don't know. That's all preference as well, I guess. I tend to go for anyone that's got super sub on them. So super sub Giroud, super sub Adriano. I put super sub on Eto. Um, super sub on. Do I put it on this guy? Nah, I probably should though. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hope this formation works out for you. Comment in the section below. Let me know how it's gone for you. Peace.